Welcome to 0 to 60.
I'm Matt McChesney. I am the owner and operator of 6-0 Football Academy and 6-0 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of football.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We are at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much.
All right. 0 to 60. We're rolling. Welcome to 0 to 60. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. Bailey's on the ones and the twos. We got a special guest for you today. Bobby Pesavento, who is a great quarterback in Colorado history and lore, the last quarterback to lead us to a Big 12 title back in the day in 2001. And a great friend of mine, one of my brothers, is going to be joining us here on the show. He'll be on the sideline for the Buffs at Arizona this weekend, and they leave at noon to go down there. So we've got Bobby for about 20 minutes. Bailey, let's pay some bills, and then we get rolling, baby. Let's go.
Let's pay some bills. This show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for everything sports betting. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA, to even political props. Head on over to BetOnline today. When the game's over, head on over to BetOnline's online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here. The show is also brought to you by Cherry Bundy. Cherry Bundy provides you a natural product with no added sugar using tart cherries, which are the highest antioxidant fruit or vegetable in the world. 10 of the last 11 Super Bowl champions have used it. 66 out of 67 Power 4 conference football teams and every NCAA football and basketball national champion since 2007 has used Cherry Bundy, so head on over there and check them out. But Big Matt, we are here on this fine Thursday. It's good to be back. We've had a couple of days off, so now we are here, and we got a special guest here to join us to preview Colorado's big-time matchup against Arizona. But let's go ahead and bring him in. Former Colorado Buffs quarterback, Bobby Pesavento. Welcome to the show. How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining.
Good, man. Good to see you, fellas. How's it going?
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Ches.
How are you today?
Couldn't be better, buddy. About to head to the airport, get on this bird, go down to Arizona, and try to get a victory.
So, look, man, if you guys don't know anything about Bobby, then you're probably not a real CU fan. But Bob led one of the most dominant offensives I've seen in the history of Colorado when we were on the 01 team together. And look, I'm just going to dive straight into this shit. Last week, we had 10 carries by the running backs for like 14 yards. And then we had multiple sacks, which was negative 50 yards, and they ended up at negative 29 for the day, which is the worst rushing output in the history of Colorado football. Now, I understand wholeheartedly what we have at quarterback. I get it. I'm not stupid. I'm only blind in one eye. Okay. I know we have an advantage, but I felt like you had a massive advantage when you in 01, we could have thrown the ball on everyone. We had Dan Graham and McCoy and Donahoe and all dudes everywhere. But we really leaned on the fact that our scheme, not just our players, could just hammer the rock and control time of possession. Can you imagine, like, if Colorado held the ball for 35 minutes and Shedeur got to throw the way he does and had 150 yards rushing and 25 carries by the backs? I'm not trying to sound negative about this, Bob, but you're a quarterback. You think like a quarterback. You look at everything like a quarterback. You're going to be on the sideline in Tucson. Is this going to be another 7-on-7 game, or is CU ever going to support number 2 correctly?
Well, I mean, dude, I don't think you're being negative at all. I think you're spot on. If you look at the Baylor game, you look at the UCF game, right? We committed to running the football, and we did run the football. And then all of a sudden, right, that takes pressure off your quarterback. That takes pressure off your offensive line, because now the dudes across from them aren't just pinning their ears back and coming forward because they know you're throwing the ball. So, I made a statement last week. I said, if you tell me that we rush for 100 yards every game for the rest of the season, we win every game.
I agree.
But are we going to – and we don't have the patience to commit to it. I think we have 3 really good running backs. And I don't care. I feel like if it's 1st and 10 and we go for 1 yard, like we just freak out and get away from it, and we can't do it again. Like, it's okay to run the ball 2 times in a row, right? That's not a problem. And I mean, I 100% agree with what you're saying, right? If you can take stress away from number 2 and take stress away from the big guys up front by just committing to running the ball, I don't give a shit if you don't get any yards. Just show that you're going to do it. And then all of a sudden now number 2's upright a hell of a lot more. He's not getting hit in the mouth. He's has an easier chance to get the ball out quickly. It's simple football, man. Like, you can't – sure, there's plenty of teams out there that throw it every down and they're exciting to watch, but when's the last time a team like that's won?
We were talking about, like, playing Texas Tech in college. Like, they would win 8-9 games every year, and they would beat people because they were faster, and Leach would out-scheme, and Kingsbury would dice them up. But when they played us, we just road graded them. When they played Oklahoma, they got road graded. When they played – when they played Texas, they got road graded. So, okay.
It's not sustainable. It's not a sustainable way to play offense.
Yeah. And last year, like, it's amazing to me that they didn't learn, especially because Patty Boy was the OC at Washington State last year, where Shedeur broke his back and was out for the rest of the season. Is this a scheme problem? Or I don't think it's a player problem. I'm not going to sit here and blame the kids. Why is it that they won't? I watched them last year at TCU, brother. I know you watched. You were at that game on the sideline, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, so we watched them line up in, like, heavy truck with 2 fullbacks and under center and turn around and hand the ball off on the goal line multiple times. They did it in 4th down, and then they've never gone back to it ever once. Why is it that they can't figure out a way to put big personnel on the field and just run vertically, like you're saying, even if it is just for 3 yards or 5 yards? Eventually, against a college defense, that shit's popping. Unless you're the best defense in the country, and that's not what we're playing in the Big 12. Arizona's not the best defense in the country. But Utah's pretty good, but they're not the best defense in the country. Texas Tech is going to give up 40 points. Like, are we just going to go in and 7-on-7 everybody?
Yeah, man, I don't think it's a scheme thing. I think it's a commitment thing. I feel like they get away from it so quickly, and they just – but I think that's all upstairs, right? I mean, that's something you got a game plan for all week, that we're going to commit to running the football. Even if we get down, who gives a shit? Like, you still got number 2 back there. He's going to bring you back, but help him out by running the ball a little bit. If they want to be a good team, if they want to compete to win – the Big 12 and play in the big, and be at the top of that and try to sneak their way in to this 12-team playoff thing, they better run the damn ball, because they're not going to beat teams. As good as 2 is, we're not good enough up front to keep him upright, and we're not getting the ball out quickly enough to keep him upright for the next 7 games or however many games we have left. I mean, he's just going to get beat up, and he's not going to be healthy. So, and the other thing, man, that frustrates me is we want to throw it all over the yard, and then we get in 4th and 1 and we go for it. And then now all of a sudden we want to get in the gun and run the ball. Like, what are we doing? Like, if you're going to make a commitment to go for it on 4th and 1, you might want to find a way to get it to 12. He's pretty damn good. I mean, however you can, just raise up and throw him the ball. I promise he's going to make somebody miss and fall forward. Like, the football world that we come from, our brains just don't work the same way that the way college football is played right now.
I'm really struggling with it right now. But even the teams that throw it all over the yard, they also commit to supporting their quarterback and running the ball. I think that if you look at the stats, we have the biggest distribution between being able to run the ball and being able to pass the ball of anybody in the country. So, okay. So look, you play quarterback, you play behind a good offensive line. Obviously, we had great backs. I'm not trying to compare the teams, but I will ask this question. Do you think that like Shedeur seeing ghosts here a little bit because he's rolling into sacks and why I can't figure this out, but I always tell my defensive linemen never run around the quarterback but here I would say just keep running up the field because he escapes backwards. Why do you think that is with two? Like before we start praising, I just want to get all the bullshit out of the way.
Yeah, no, man, I don't think I have a good answer for you because I've never been around football where you're taught and coached up to retreat when pressure's coming around you, right? I mean, the protections are built in a way to create a pocket around you so you can step up or you can slide and step up. It's never good. Nothing ever good comes out of a quarterback backing up because all that does is help the defensive ends get a better angle to you. So, I mean, I get it that he has great athleticism, so I think he feels like he can bail out and make plays. But, I think you got to take the good and the bad with that, right? Because of all the times he bails out and he hurts the protection, there's also moments where he bails out and he saves guys and he's throwing the ball down the field. So when you have a player like that, right, like, listen, shit, I couldn't do that. I stood back there. You knew what was going to happen. I was going to hit my fifth step and the ball was coming out because I didn't want to get hit in the mouth and I sure as hell didn't want to run. So the ball was coming out somewhere.
I saw you dig before though, dog. That big against Nebraska when you took off for that pylon. I've never seen you run like that before in my life.
Some things, sometimes shit happens and you got to do stuff. But I mean, that's just So I think you just got to take the good and the bad with it because of the type of athlete he is. But I would prefer him every day. Shit, man. Step up, slide, and then all of a sudden you're even if you fall forward and you get 3 or 4 yards, that's a hell of a lot better than 2nd and 28, like I think it was at one point against Kansas State, because he tried to bail out and fell right into the defensive end. So, I mean, I would have to think that Pat Shermer is coaching him to step up in the pocket, right? I mean, I would be amazed if they were running drills for him to try to get out and get wide. But it's frustrating to watch sometimes. I think he holds on to the ball too long. And maybe that's just him thinking that, shit, we can't run it. I better hang on to it to try to push it down the field to make big plays. So I can see that mentally getting in his head as a quarterback, but you're not doing your team any good, right? Like just find a way to get positive yards. And there's too much of the, number one, be healthy. Don't take as many hits, and you don't have to elongate every play, right? And try to create something, right? We're good enough where positive yardage, even if it's 1, 2, 3, I think we're good enough right now that leads to success, right? And you don't have to take sacks. It's okay to punt the ball because you know what? Our defense is pretty damn good too.
They're pretty good.
So, I think it's a totally different mindset from last year, because last year we were not very good up front. We couldn't run the football. Now I believe we can run the football, and we're much better.
I think we're way better up front from a talent-wise perspective this year than we were last year for sure. And Loadholt's got them rolling. So Bailey, let's preview this game really quick with Bob before he's got to get out of here and go to Tucson. And then we'll wrap it up on the other end.
Yeah, man. So, Bob, I can't thank you enough for joining. Let's go ahead and just preview this game. Obviously, down in Tucson, the Buffs head down there. Travis Hunter's playing. That's a good update. But let's go ahead and preview this. Your thoughts on this matchup for Colorado? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Arizona is a good team. I think they lost a lot when Jed Fish walked away and took the Washington job. I think he's a pretty special coach. So I think they're going through some struggles because of that. I do believe on offense, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to run the ball against this defense. We just have to commit to it. So in my perfect world, I would love to see that, and then play action off of it over the top, use the guys we have on the outside. They do have a pretty good quarterback. He's athletic. He can make throws down the field. They got some good guys, some big guys on the outside on offense for Arizona. So I think it'll be a little bit of a challenge because they can put up points when that quarterback, he's a little streaky, but when he gets it going, they can put up a lot of points. I think from a logistical type of thing, I love the fact that it's at 1 p.m. and it's not at night in Arizona in the desert, because that's never easy to play in. Those kids, the later the day gets, the rowdier those people get down there in Arizona. So I'm glad it's kicking off early, and we'll get this thing over with. Arizona might be a little sleepy. I don't think they're used to 1 p.m. kickoffs, right? Just because they have to wait for that window in the time of the year where they can start playing earlier once the temperature drops. So I think this is a very important game. It's a very winnable game. We need this. We need to get to 5-2. We sure as hell don't need to be 4-3.
No, God, 4-3 sounds terrible.
It really does. So I think the Buffs win. I think it's tight just because Arizona can score, and I'm a little worried about the athleticism of their quarterback.
And look, that McMillan kid, their receiver is legit as shit. He's a first-round talent for sure. Okay, so I got to ask you this question before Bailey gets the next one. And when you have to leave, just tell us and we'll get you out of here.
Yeah.
Is it now time, and I'm not advocating this. Again, everyone in the chat and everyone that's going to take this the wrong way, I'm not advocating this. But is it time for Travis to play one way this week and get his feet back underneath him? Or are we just throwing him out there and rolling?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's time for maybe to limit some of the offensive snaps. I don't know if it's, fully let's commit to him only playing defense.
Even with Miller out, I mean, Miller broke his leg and Horn's still hurt, and so it seems like we could just run the ball and control the clock a little bit because we don't have any receivers. But that's just me.
I mean, I still think they got some guys that can play out there, right? I mean, that room is pretty deep, that wide receiver room, and I feel like like one guy goes down and, oh shit, we got somebody else we didn't even know about, and he's pretty good too. So I think we gotta be smart about how many snaps what Travis is getting, because we need him way more down the stretch than I think we need him on Saturday afternoon in Tucson. But I think he's a difference maker. Obviously, he's the best player in college football. I think he's more of a difference maker at corner than he is at wide receiver. So I would love to see more reps at corner than at wide receiver.
Okay. Bailey, roll.
What are your thoughts? So obviously Colorado's played a couple mobile quarterbacks this year. Now they're facing another one who's pretty good. He's a shorter kid, but he can sling as well as run. What does Colorado's defense got to do to shut down Fafita and make sure he's not scrambling all day?
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep him in. You got to keep him in the pocket, right? you got to have disciplined rush lanes. You got to try to put creative pressures against him, in my opinion. Get him off of his first read quickly, but then try to find a way to keep him in there, right? Because once he gets outside and he starts making people miss, that's when they make big plays down the field. So I'd love to see him pressure him. But then, the linemen, and they have to have disciplined rush lanes. You can't let them sneak out, because that's when we're going to have problems. So, I mean, he's going to present a problem no matter what. That's just the type of player he is. We got to just do the best we can to contain him.
No doubt.
How do you think they're going to do that with it? Look, and I'm just going to say this. Do they need to go, maybe dime and take one of the two incredibly good middle linebackers off the field and put Shiloh on more? I mean, Shiloh really struggled last week, but again, I've had games coming back from injury. I've never came back from a broken arm in the middle of the season. That's some tough shit. But he didn't play well. And I've had games where I didn't play well. You've had games where you didn't play well. It happens. The response is usually pretty good from a competitor. I seem to think that the defense played a little bit better when he wasn't on the field, and that's not knocking him. It's just what it is, my opinion. Where do you stand on that, especially with this mobile kid? And I mean, they're going to do as much RPO shit as we say we're going to do, but we don't really do RPO because we don't run the ball.
Yeah, I think we played much better on defense without him, and that's, again, like you, I'm not trying to knock the kid. I mean, he's a kid. He's out there doing the best he can, but he's a downhill, physical, aggressive safety, and I think in a game like this, we don't need that, because the more downhill and the more aggressive he is, guess what? Guys are going to be running right behind him, past him. And that's what this kid does well at Arizona. He throws a deep ball really well, and he finds time. He finds a way to get time and let those guys develop stuff down the field. So I think we got to go back to exactly what we were doing against Baylor and against UCF, right? And I love Shiloh's aggressiveness, but it's not the greatest thing for what we're going up against on Saturday in Arizona's offense.
All right, so look, before we get you out of here, I know you got to make a flight. Tell Coach Barnett that I said hello. Give him a hug for me. Can you do a prediction being on the sideline?
Yeah, sure.
So prediction time. Predictions. What do you think?
I think there'll be some points scored in this game for sure. But I do like the Buffs. I think we walk out of here with a win. I do think it'll be fairly close. I'm in that probably, 38-30 type of range. I think there's going to be a lot of points back and forth. So I'll go Buffs 38, Arizona 30.
I like that shit. All right. Well, Bob, go have fun in Arizona.
Right,
we'll be listening to you, brother. And give Coach GB a big hug for me. And I'll see you when you get home. Thanks, brother.
Good. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks for joining, man. Hey, that was a great interview. Bobby Pesavento, can't thank him enough for joining. Big Matt, he predicted it. The Colorado going to go down there.
38-30, I'll take it. The 30 points is a lot. But, look, I don't think that this is going to be a blowout either way. I think that this is going to be a competitive game. Last year was 34-31 in Folsom. Remember, Coach Prime iced himself last year, if you remember, like with the kicker. Like he iced himself. We made the kick, and then we went back out to kick it again and missed. Yeah. So that really chapped my ass that day because that could have been a game to get us to a bowl game. So, all right, look, we have a lot more to talk about here, obviously. Let's get into it, man, because here, just look, right when we're about to move on, the basement comes out. And let's just start with that right now, and then we'll get back to the other shit. Thank you, the basement, for bringing this up because this is where we were going. It's almost like you're in our head.
Yeah, well, let's get right into it. Coach Prime was in a meeting. They were in a team meeting, and he was just going around the room asking players and coaches what are they going to do or what do they think needs to happen in order for CU to win this week. And Pat Shurmur had a great response saying, run the ball. Take a listen here.
Run game right, and we're going to do it at all costs. We can't win a game the way we need to win a game until we get out of our own way and run the damn ball. Look. So lineman, you got to move your feet and use your hands. I'm tired of seeing hands down by your nuts. Get your hands up and put your hands on guys, right? Move your feet and use your hands. Running backs, be disciplined with your pass. Quit cutting back so fast because the second level just falls back and tackles you. Press it. If we're trying to run outside zone, try to run outside. Even if it looks like it's not going to happen, then you can cut up. And then quarterbacks, we've got to do a better job of carrying out our fakes. That all contains it. Running back, our receivers, keep pressing on the perimeter. Keep blocking your guys. Just hit somebody and knock them back. All right? Because once we start doing that, we can throw the ball all over the yard. Right? But we got to make yards on the run to help make the rest of that stuff go. So it's less about these dudes and more about us. Let's make sure we put an effort and a focus on that.
Now your thoughts on that?
Thank fucking God. It's almost like someone listened to what I said the other day. Because a lot of the comments were like, oh, they just can't do it. It's on the kids. They're shitty. No. It's not on the players, dog. They're doing what the coaches asked them to do. If you ask them to pass block 60 times, that's what they're going to try and do. Yeah. But yeah, look, Pat, bro, fuck. Thank God. Please, Jesus, do this. Please. Yeah. Again, it's just like Bobby said. I don't care if we get 1 or 2 yards. Run it again. Yeah. If we have to punt. Play defense. Back them up. Play defense. If they score, don't panic. Like, if anything, everybody should understand that if we're down, it's like right where we want to be. It's our sweet spot. Because then we can be like, okay, Shedeur, save us. But again, if just think about in a perfect world, if Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and Horn and Shepard and what the next freak they want to pull off the bench. Imagine if they have 35 minutes of possession. Yeah. Yeah. Like imagine going to Arizona.
Game changer.
And fucking holding the ball at Arizona for 35 minutes. And they get it for 25. And they're forced to play like we play. They're forced to throw the ball over the yard. And our secondary gets to feast. Like, think about the CSU game or the UCF game. where we controlled the time of possession and like really ran the ball well, and they were guessing, and we just beat the shit out of them. And then they were making stupid throws, and we're taking pick sixes back and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that this is another thing. I want to put this in here. I'm glad they brought this up. Love Hurts 333. All right. I don't remember us talking about
we did not say that.
But I know that the chat's been talking about it a lot.
Yeah, that's chat. We ain't saying
I don't think Shedeur is. Because I don't see it. You can't call a play and then what is he sitting in the fucking shotgun and calling it from the gun? No. If he's going to stop a play, he's going to walk him and go easy, 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 easy. He's going to tell all the offensive linemen what they have to do, and he's going to tell the receivers, and then they're going to run the fucking play. That's not what I see him doing at all. Yeah. I see him breaking the muddle huddle. They get up to the line of scrimmage. He makes a couple of adjustments with the receivers. Maybe they snap the ball and roll. They don't even change up the cadence that much.
Yeah, that is
so
true.
I think again, that's more narrative from armchair quarterbacks that don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah,
I also think that, look, if Pat's going to say this publicly and it's going to be out, now we got a receipt. It's not just me calling him out on it. And look, again, by the way, Bucky will be back on Tuesday, so that's pretty cool. So we'll have him after a big win down in Arizona. But I'm just saying, like, we find ourselves in a very unique, I don't know, consistent position. This is the same thing that happened last year. But last year, I don't think we had the heads to run the ball the way we wanted to. I think up front, we've got some dudes this year that can actually move people if we'll just do it. You know, running the football is a boring way to control games. Excuse me. Hold on. Whew. Sorry, I've been outside all morning. I got to sneeze.
It's all good.
It's a boring way to control games. But again, if you're that good at the skill positions, you want to control the game. You want to be able to dictate when you're taking shots. And just like Kansas State did to us when we thought they were going to run the ball at the end of the game and we had 9 guys in the fucking box. And what did they do? They broke tendency and threw the ball in the flat to the running back and then threw the ball deep, and it was 2 plays and we were fucked.
Yeah.
So they had an unbelievable advantage there. Regardless of what you think about the defense, they're selling out to stop the run because they had to. If they get 1 first down, you know, the game changes. And they were down at that point, and we're still selling out to stop the run. So I think that this is a very winnable game for a lot of different reasons. But when I hear Pat stand up and say it like he just said it, bro, now go do it, please. Don't go out there and just clam up and not do it. I know we have an advantage throwing the ball, and I love big plays. I love them. But again, let's see if this other way can be productive just a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And I think him coming out and say it, you have to follow through with it, or else, I mean, there's going to be a lot of heat coming towards him specifically. I think.
Well, just think about this Colorado fan here. He will throw for 500 yards, maybe. They could put 650 yards on him. Throw for 500, run for 150. That's doable in college football. It happens all the fucking time. So again, like. There's so many opportunities here to take advantage of what is right in front of them that they don't take advantage of. So just try to do what you say you're going to do. That's it.
Exactly. And, you know, Coach Prime, speaking of the running backs in this running game, Coach Prime was asked about the running backs this week, and he said Augusta is going to get the start this week. Take a listen here.
Injury, Travis.
Right.
Played. I think he played. You got to understand he had a hamstring injury now that he was nursing, that he was trying to come back on. He didn't practice every day last week. So you kind of bring him back slowly. 2-3 may get the nod this week. Everyone else has started but him. So he may be that back this week to get this opportunity to do his thing. So we kind of, it's not nothing that they didn't do well. It's just rotation.
Matt, your thoughts on that? 2-3 Augusta getting the start this week.
Well, I like it. I like the change up with the backs. I come from an era at Colorado where, of course, I played defensive line when I was there, not offense. But Pesavento was the quarterback when we rotated. Fuck, man, 3 really, but there I guess you could say 4. When we rotated Cortland Johnson, Bobby Purify, Chris Brown, and that bitch ass Marquisha Houston. Fuck that guy. I'm one grudge holding son of a bitch, man. I'll tell you. But hey, I will say that it's not the same, obviously, because they don't run the ball the same way. But 23 can play. He's huge. I mean, he's had some fumble problems. That happens. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people fumble the ball. Let's try not to fucking just live in the past. They'll learn from it. But I do think that he has the ability to really be a physical big back that we need. Mm-hmm. And then Smalls, the tight end,
Seville,
like as a lead blocker in that scissor formation that they play with him off the ball and being able to sling backside, slap backside, however you want to say it, and kick out that defensive end. It allows two double teams on the offensive line. It allows Smalls to get super physical. So a lot of it's going to be on him too. Can he control the defensive ends for Arizona? Because they're going to run that 3-3-5 just like K-State did. K-State did. And I want everybody to understand this. I see a lot of like the center got dominated and the front soft. When and I played college defensive line. I played in the NFL on defensive line and then guard in the NFL. I never played college offensive line, but I know this. If I know you're in college, especially in college, if I know that you can't run and all we have to do is pass rush, I am fucking up college offensive lineman, dog. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, you are a chump.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course they're going to struggle. Period.
Yeah.
So, Again, it's not just supporting two. It's changing it up for your offensive. You know how easy it is to pass block off play action? Like when we're pumping somebody for 5 yards of carry and it's the third quarter and they're dying and we're driving and all of a sudden it's like 2nd and 1, which is say it, everyone, waist down. There you go, Bailey. There you go, dog. And all of a sudden it's, hey, let's fucking take a shot. Hardcore play action, max protection, fucking bury that ball in the running back's stomach, pull it out, stand tall, and Hunter and Horn and Shepard just get to run down the field. I say that sounds like 6 to me, homie. So look at this one. Send your son to Nebraska. So I don't decide where he goes. He does. If he wants to go there, I'm not going to be mad at him. So.
Yeah, it's not a bad place to go play football. Yeah, but no, this will be interesting this week with 2-3 getting the nod. I'm sure you'll see carries from other backs as well as they rotate. But I'm excited to see what Augusta can do this week and see what this run game can do. Pat Shurmur is emphasizing he wants to run the damn ball. We're gonna find out whether that comes to fruition or not. But let's move forward here. We've got a lot more to talk about here on this fine Thursday, but Big Matt, Travis Hunter during the Colorado's bye went on RG3's podcast with his wife and had comments to say as to why he should win the Heisman over Ashton Jeanty. Take a listen here.
Right. And I want you to know that I don't want y'all to shy away from speaking that stuff into existence. I don't think that you can't win it. I definitely think you can win it.
I know I can win it, but
Robert
I don't know.
Couldn't win it either.
I don't know who was there. I mean, y'all see Ashton Jeanty, but it's not like we haven't seen a running back that's good.
All right.
We haven't seen a player that plays both ways, and I'm gonna keep saying that. It's like he have 95 carries.
Yeah.
For
1,000 yards. Yeah.
If I had 95 catches, how much yards you think I have?
Okay.
So I'm trying to tell him, like, if I had 95 targets on defense, what you think I'll have?
Right.
If I had 95 catches on offense, what you think I'll have? So I try to tell you, like, he got double the touches I got on the offensive side of the ball, and I still have defensive stats that's still crazy, and we only in week 6.
Yeah.
Matt, I'm interested in your thoughts on this. Go ahead.
He's not wrong. I mean, I don't know how Travis Hunter can't be the front runner for the Heisman. If Travis played in the fucking Mountain West, this would, I mean, what are we talking about? So I understand that Gentry is special. No one's saying he's not. He is fucking awesome. but he's doing this in the Mountain West. And you're not winning the Heisman in the Mountain West, dog. The minute that they lose a game or he has a bad game or somebody plays run defense against him, pull up Boise State's remaining schedule.
Okay.
Like, I'm just saying, he's not – I'm tired of this Barry Sanders talk. Barry Sanders did it in 2 less games in the Big 8 when the Big 8 was the conference of conferences. All right? And just – I know he's special, but is he – special enough to take away the Heisman from Hunter? I don't think so. And there's no quarterback that's really putting himself in there in the Heisman position yet. The Heisman winner we may not even be talking about right now. You don't know.
Yeah, that's very true.
Middle of the season. So they got to keep winning. If Boise's undefeated and they're in the playoff, maybe. But, I mean, we'll see. What's the rest of their schedule?
So they take on UNLV on October 25th.
That's a fucking. Where are they, in Vegas or in Boise?
In Vegas, in Elite.
That right. UNLV could beat Boise. He may go off, but if they lose,
yeah, you got a point for sure.
Who else?
They got San Diego State at home. They got Nevada at home. They go to San Jose State, and then they go to Laramie to play Wyoming, and then they got Oregon State at home, and then. If they make the Mountain West Championship, they got another one. But yeah, those are the games.
I feel like it's going to come down to strength of schedule, who you're playing, and just Travis just needs to keep swinging the hammer and keep playing well on both sides of the ball. You know, I don't see it going to a Mountain West running back, even though right now everybody's on his nuts because of the Michael Myers stance and all that. He's a hell of a player. Travis is not cocky for advocating for himself, all you fucking simpletons also.
That's the other thing I was going to ask you is JB had the take this morning on this, and he took the take as to – I mean, I understand. RG3 asked him the fucking question, but what are your thoughts on him talking about it?
Look, JB's the cockiest motherfucker alive. To act like he doesn't like this or he wouldn't want this out of one of his players is ridiculous. So I'm sure we'll debate that tomorrow morning. Do you want my best player to not think he's the baddest man alive? Shut the fuck up. People with small brains think people that advocate for themselves are cocky. Well, I'm sorry that you don't think much of yourself.
I don't know if it's cocky. I don't know. I mean, I don't think
he answered a question. Number one, it's the perception. So it's everybody perceives it as he's cocky when he's just answering a question. How do you want him to answer? Gentry should win the Heisman. I'm not shit.
Yeah.
No, that's not the way you do it because it's not true. So I feel like it's, again, if Travis played for Florida State, fucking JB would not be on his nuts.
Yeah.
But JB loves the fact that I went to see you so he can fucking just trash it so we have something to talk about.
Well, yeah, and I was just curious as to take because I see where he's coming from. I don't really agree with him. He's saying that he's talking himself up. I'm like, what the fuck you want him to do? Say he's horrible and not win it? I mean, I don't agree with that either. You have to have confidence
you're good.
in this day and age.
But he's good.
Fuck, he's a unicorn. Yeah,
I mean, he's an animal. It's not like he's slime.
Yeah. I mean,
so I don't have a problem with it at all, Doug.
Yeah. But we'll see. I think, like we said with Genty, if he has one game to where he rushes for 80 yards, I think this conversation starts to slow down. That said, he is on pace to break Barry Sanders' single-season rushing record, which would be impressive for sure. But, in the Mountain West. So we'll see. Either way, both players, hell of a player, but we'll see. I think ultimately, if you had to pick one, I think it's Travis. That's my opinion though. But let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, pay some bills here. When we come back, we got a lot to talk about, including an atheist group who has an issue with Coach Prime leading prayers in Colorado's locker room. We're also going to talk about why Shedeur Sanders is a special quarterback coming from LeJohntay Wester. He had some good comments on Shedeur. We're going to give an injury update as to the Colorado-Arizona game and much more. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Whether it's offensive linemen as they work combos and double teams and also pass pro and punch, I think the unique physicality of this is outstanding. So much so that you can use it for your shield on punt team or as you rush in the shield There's so many different ways that we're using it. We get better a little bit every single day, and I just wanted to say thank you because I hadn't ever thought of this, and when I saw it, it made total sense, and we're doing a great job with it. So thank you, man. Go Big Red. What this has done for us is it's allowed us to, because of the surface area, because of its firm nature, I can still strike against another player and have to use that punch just like you do on a sled. At the same time, have to time my punch because it could move. I can teach defensive linemen how to handle double teams because they can feel pressure. We can simulate contact in a safe environment in non-contact times because of this unique bag.
Welcome down here to the Lab 60 Football Academy, 60 Strength and Fitness. I am your owner and operator, Matt McChesney. I just wanted to let everybody know that 60 is now on Cameo. You can go on Cameo and request any tips for training, any offensive line, defensive line tips, recruiting tips. I get so many inquiries in my inbox on a daily basis about tips and can you look at my film and can you do this? Can you break down something for me? I'd love to. All right? It's like the Joker said, my man, right here. If you're good at something, never do it for free. So Cameo is now your bridge to 60 Football Academy. Go in, request what you want, tips, suggestions, recruiting, film, and we will make sure that you get the absolute best from the best. So check out 60 on Cameo at 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy.
And we're back here on this fine Thursday, Big Matt. And to all 729 people here, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family here at 0 to 60. We appreciate you all. We are doing a live watch party for the Colorado-Arizona game. That will be at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Mountain. It's gonna be a great time. Just kind of watch along, watch us react to the game. It's gonna be a great game. I can't wait. So go ahead and tune into the watch party. We'd love to hear all your support and just talk and whatever, but it's going to be great. But yeah, go ahead and become a member. And Big Matt, let's continue this. So we got quite the story next here. Alders, you sent this to me. It says, an atheist group seeks to block Colorado coach Deion Sanders from holding team prayers. This is from the Washington Times. This article states, let me read it. The University of Colorado must again take action to protect its student athletes' First Amendment rights, said Samantha Lawrence. Blah, blah, blah. Coach Sanders needs to understand that he is hired to coach football, not to force student athletes to engage in his preferred religious practices. Playing defense for Sanders is the First Liberty Institute, which fired off a letter to the university insisting that the coach is well within his rights to engage in public prayer and bring in a team chaplain. Matt, what are your thoughts on this? I'm very curious on your thoughts on this.
All right, look. I'm a godless heathen atheist, okay? And this is the most ridiculous shit I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Yeah.
Like, just fuck off. If the man has faith and the players in the room don't care, and I've been in the locker room God knows how many times and been involved in the prayers, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm even involved, holding hands, head bowed, and I don't believe in any of this shit. But it's more about the community atmosphere and being in the group and, just, our Father, Lord in heaven, I'll be in thy name. Everybody knows that fucking, that chant and also prayer. That shit gives me goosebumps, and I don't even believe it. It makes me want to run through a fucking wall. Because it's everyone together.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry that you don't have community and your atheist community isn't working for you. Shocking. But as a guy who doesn't go to church and doesn't believe in all this shit and thinks it's kind of ridiculous, I also don't have a problem with it either.
Right.
Unless you're projecting your shit on me and telling me that I'm a bad person because I'm not religious, and he doesn't do that. He knows what I am. He knows that I curse. He gets it. He doesn't use it against me. Mm-hmm. I look at it like I haven't been blessed with faith. So when it happens, I'm not going to fucking like run from it. At least I'll investigate if.
Right.
So Mike Spivey was our team chaplain at CU, and he played at CU back in the day. He's the fucking man. He always knew that I was a heathen, but he always took the time to come fucking say something nice in my ear before the game and help me stretch and like get me fucking centered. Yeah. So, I don't, this whole like Coach Prime super, what else do you want to use against this guy? What other positive thing can we use against Coach Prime? Like, it's getting to the point now where it's play the fuck out. Like, you're mad at him because of everything, but nothing ever happens wrong. When's the last time a CU player got arrested or fucking got busted with a gun or busted with drugs or beat the shit out of his girlfriend or got caught going 90 miles an hour? Go look at Georgia's rap sheet. Mm-hmm. Those motherfuckers are in trouble every other day. I haven't seen one instance, not one negative press, no fights, no drinking problems, no partying. They got the highest GPA in team fucking history. And we're mad at him now because they pray? Because Coach Prime's a man of God and he decides to share that with his team and his coaches? Which is 85% probably black, right? Let's just be real. That's what it is too. It's at least with the coaching staff and all the players, and it should be. We're trying to win, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're not recruiting frat boys to see you anymore, are we? No. So again, like this happened with Coach Mack back in the day. Coach Mack had the Promise Keepers, and people used to get mad at him for praying. And he had to take a step back. There's a lot of people in that locker room that believe. And the ones that don't, they still believe in team.
Yeah.
They still believe in community. Every team I've ever been a part of prays. Everyone.
Yes.
The dumbest bullshit I've ever heard in my life. And another thing, I don't know one of my black friends or brothers that I played with that isn't religious. Not fucking one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you know what? I tip my cap to them for that because it's a family thing. It's brought up through generations. It's something that's passed down. That didn't happen with my family. I can't even remember the last time me and my family went to church. Now, my ex-wife is 100% Sicilian, Italian, New Yorker. They were in church every fucking Sunday. Mm-hmm. So I have respect for it. It hasn't happened to me yet. I haven't been blessed with faith. Therefore, I'm not going to knock anybody who says that they are. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, man. This is just how much you want to bet that the lady that wrote this wears Jerusalem Troopers, has fucking dreadlocks as a white girl, fucking loves granola, like fucking hates everything, super left, like fucking hairy armpits, doesn't shave her pussy, like just gross. I guarantee how much you want to bet. You want to bet? How much you want to bet? Find a picture of this bitch, and I guarantee you it looks like she hasn't been touched with a 10-foot pole in 15 years. So I'm just saying, like, maybe you should stop projecting all your insecurities and everything that you don't like on other people who don't give a fuck. So Coach Prime is up front with his faith and how his relationship with God, and that offends you. That offends you. How about?
My God.
How about you just leave it to yourself, dog? Like, tell this granola bitch and her people at the atheist convention to shut the fuck up.
I mean, Matt, every 3 weeks we sit here and we're looking at one of these damn articles. And you remember when Deion Jr. was like, man, my dad called me about the Barstool article or about the fight song. I can only imagine what the reaction is going to be to this. Because this like, he thought the fight song shit was ridiculous. Now you've got an atheist group trying, not just talking shit. They're trying to block him so he can't pray. Come on. Like, dude, what kind of shit does this guy have to put up with, dog? Let's be real here. Like, I don't see the hit pieces on other college coaches about shit like this. Everyone prays. I don't see the attacks like these articles. It's because he's a black Christian.
in fucking super granola Boulder where you can't believe in anything. But you can't believe in anything but we, them, us, they, fucking everybody. As long as you agree with them, you can believe in anything. But in the minute you don't agree with them, you can't believe in anything. So if Coach Prime has a standard, which is probably not the same standard as the granola atheist that is trying to block this, well, I'd imagine that have fun in court with this one. Like your First Amendment right to challenge this is his First Amendment right to keep praying, you dumb motherfucker. Samantha Lawrence, please find a picture of Samantha Lawrence. First of all, Samantha. Ugh.
I just
terrible name for a chick.
We're just here again. Like I don't even understand
what is the point of this? I guarantee you Samantha Lawrence doesn't even watch football. She's probably just like,
no. This is what I don't understand either.
One of the fucking walk-on kids decided to complain about something, and then it got back to Samantha and her atheist group, granola motherfuckers. Did you find a picture of this bitch?
I'm trying to. I don't know if she works in Washington Times. Nope, that's not it. Fuck. I'm trying to find it. But yeah, I just
that's Hood Bush.
I click right back on to read that.
What is Hood Bush, dog? Please tell me.
Stanley Harris in the house.
Thanks, dog. That's what I'm talking about. And we got a new member. Look at that. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and Stanley Harris says, "Much love, my brother. Truth makes us free. Keep rolling, Matt and Bailey. Keep your vision real."
Look,
Stanley Harris, we appreciate you, brother.
I'm proud to see an atheist, but I don't give a shit what you want to do. It's like I'm not gay, but I don't care if you are.
Yeah,
I'm not a trans testicle. If you want to go cut your shit off and fucking dress up for Halloween every day, that's cool. Do your thing. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't mean shit to me. It's when you start trying to infringe on what I believe. Just like I feel for Coach Prime in this situation and his players. I would double down on the fucking prayer at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's like, you really think an outside entity is going to shut that down? Are you crazy?
No, there's no way, and he shouldn't. So, bro, I think that this is ridiculous. I am fucking tired of it. Let the man coach and live. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I try to find a picture.
Ridiculous nature of this shit is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's again, every 3 weeks we hear some bullshit ass article. It's hilarious. Gorgon sent $2. Said met the Argos CFL team at third team post prayer in 2000. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. Before we get out of here, we're going to talk some injury updates and just talk about this game as Colorado takes on Arizona. But Coach Prime gave an injury update. He said Travis Hunter's playing along with a couple other injury updates. Take a listen here.
Injury, Travis should play for certain on Saturday. Jimmy as well. Timmons, Marion. Those two guys are probably out, and Will Shepard should play as well.
Well, there you have it. We got a couple receivers back this game, Travis and Jimmy. Unfortunately, Marion had the unfortunate injury. Prime, I believe, said he has surgery as well. But your thoughts on having those guys back for this game?
I love it. Thank God. You don't want to walk in not having any of your players. But, again, I would be careful with Travis.
I agree.
Sometimes a good coach has to fucking guard his player from himself. I would really limit his offensive snaps, especially if they're going to run the ball more. More heavy packages allows him to come off the field, and you can keep Horman, Shepard, and the other cats on, and Wester. But I would play him every play on defense. I would just put him on McMillan, and wherever McMillan goes, Travis goes. And then I would bracket him too. I would bracket McMillan as well and try and make it so he just can't get the ball. Because Travis with over-the-top help, that leads to pick sixes and big plays. Sure. Travis one-on-one leads to pick sixes and big plays. So what the fuck? If you play over the top on him and you limit McMillan vertically, and you limit him to the sideline and that, the pocket of space between the hash and the number, or the hash and the sideline, bro, you take him out of the game. So still, if they move him around, if they put him in the slot, you can still figure out a way to put Travis in the slot. We play so much man defense that it shouldn't be a problem. Miller being out, that sucks. That kid is really special.
Yeah.
The wide receiver room is so deep if he's not starting, and he's that good. Because he's come in, he saved us against Baylor. He was integral in the Kansas State game before he got hurt. If he doesn't go down, I don't know if we lose. So it's on Wester and Horn, who are smaller slot type guys, and Shepard, no more drops. For the great plays Shepard makes, man, he drops some fucking just gifts. He dropped a gift in the Kansas State game too. So we can't drop any more gifts. If you drop a fucking terrible, a bad throw or a high throw or whatever, I can live with that. But you can't drop gifts. And Shedeur gift wrapping the ball to him a lot. So, it's more skill players that are hurt than big guys. The defense seems pretty healthy with Shiloh coming back. So we'll see what happens, man. But it's good that guys are healthy.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. And before we move on here, Coach Phillips was asked his thoughts on losing 4 wide receivers last Saturday in the game. Take a listen here.
I never had that situation happen to me before, but I tell you what, man, the guys in the room that's why you coach them all, right? You get everybody ready to play. You got a travel squad list of guys, which is 11 for us, so you get all those guys ready to play. And I thought those guys stepped in, the backup stepped in and did a great job. So I'm not bothered by that at all, because I think we'll get a couple guys back. I don't know when, but we'll get them back. So I thought those guys, like I said, they stepped in and did the job that we all expected them to do.
Matt, your thoughts on that?
He's right. I mean, as a coach, it's your job to make sure that the other guys are ready. And now he's got to get the next guy ready. After getting Miller ready, now he's got to get the next guy ready, and he will. They're all focused on the same thing. If you watch the well-off videos from Bucky, you'll see that there's now new punishment for screwing up. Yeah. So you drop a ball, you miss a read, you have an ME or an MA, you're running. You're going to get called out, and that's good. I mean, that's the way it should be, or you'll be replaced. You'll have to come off the field for penalties and shit like that. So, this should go to every coach. Every coach should really focus on making sure that you're coaching the starters or the backups just like the starters. And as a high school coach and developer of talent here at 6-0 and in Mount Vista, I try and do the same thing. I want to make sure that my second 5 are as prepared mentally as my first 5. Probably not going to be as good of players, or maybe a little bit younger or whatever. But if you know what you're doing, you can eliminate a lot of the bullshit when you get on the field, because so many guys just walk out there playing fucking checkers. But if you are a chess player in football, you're going to put yourself in position to be successful more times than not.
Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true. And shout out to Joe Perry for the $5. Yeah, Matt just talked about that.
Joe. The chats and stuffs are open, so get it in. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's get to 1,000, and also hit the like button, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, hit the like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family for only $2.99. We appreciate you. Before we get out of here, last thing I'll show, LaJohntay Wester just had some comments on Shedeur Sanders and, what makes him a very special quarterback. But take a listen here.
Pro, his IQ level is insane. His throwing ability, his ability to be able to prolong plays and extend plays and still be able to make throws down the field. So just all of that in one. He's really just the complete quarterback, the quarterback that I've been looking for pretty much all of my college career. So, I mean, I'm glad to be on his side.
Matt, your thoughts on that?
Did you see that graphic I sent you with Travis and Shedeur going 1-2?
Yeah,
or like Shedeur going 1 and Travis going 2.
It's a Cleveland.
That is a 100% feasible situation. 100%.
Certainly possible, for sure. I agree.
And I think that as they continue to win and as he continues to put up numbers, I wouldn't be surprised, especially if they can figure out a way to win these games. They can beat Arizona, beat Cincinnati. They go on the road to Texas Tech and get a win. They figure out a way to beat Utah at home. Then you've got, Kansas and Oklahoma State, right? After those two teams are struggling, you'd like to think you can win those games, but they are going to be tough because Kansas is going to lay down, and no Mike Gundy team is going to lay down. So, but say they lose one more game in conference, and BYU and Iowa State fall off, and they get a chance at Kansas State again in the Big 12 title game. Okay, now I don't know if 2 conference losses is going to make it or not, but whatever. Just say they're – so that would put them at 9-3 for the year if they lose one more conference game, right? Okay, 9-3, and he goes for – I don't know what his numbers are right now. What are Shedeur's numbers?
Give me 1 second.
Because I know that they are good, really good. I could see both of them at 9-3, 10-2. I could see both of them being in New York for the Heisman.
Okay, so right now Shedeur has 2,018 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, and 4 picks.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's the middle of the year, so it'd probably be 35, 40 touchdowns and 10 picks.
Yeah. I would guess.
5,000 yards passing.
Like I'm looking. I'm trying to see if what he.
So like 4,000 yards
4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns maybe. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It all depends.
Well, if you're 10-2, you're ranked high and you're probably playing for something. If not the Big 12 title, 9-3, 10-2, you're playing for something.
Yeah.
Right? Unless BYU and Iowa State that do not play each other finish undefeated, and this is all bullshit. And you got BYU against Iowa State in the Big 12 title game, and you got Kansas State with 1 conference loss, CU with maybe 1 or 2 conference losses. They're going to big bowl games. So I mean, Jaden Daniels won the Heisman last year with I think 3 losses. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with all this, but I think that the potential for those two to be at the top of the mountain, a lot of it rests on whether or not they win, but also a lot of it rests on their performance as well. So you just got to keep it up.
And let me ask you, I wanted to ask you about that Oklahoma State, BYU. Do you think BYU can win out under Kalani Sitake, and 2, they take on Oklahoma State this week at home, and they're 9.5-point favorites. What are your thoughts?
Are they in Provo?
BYU's at home,
and Oklahoma State's coming off a bye.
Yeah, play this week, I believe.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if Oklahoma State wins the game. Just because I don't think they're as bad as their record shows. I think that they're really a hard-nosed football team that kind of took some lumps and have got to figure some stuff out. And with them coming off a bye week with BYU running as high as they are, I wouldn't be surprised if Oklahoma State wins at this point. Fuck.
Did you hear what happened to Mike Gundy?
Yeah, he got hit in the head by a cow.
He had to move his press conference to Zoom because he got headbutted by his cow. I don't know if you saw this. We brought this up on JB actually because I know JB and Mike Gundy have a real great relationship.
Are you being sarcastic?
Very, because JB says he's kicked him out of his office on many occasions when he was at Independence.
You kicked Gundy out?
Yeah. He's not a fan. But yeah, apparently Mike Gundy was headbutted by his cow. I'm looking for the video here, but
no, I mean, I heard it, and I'm sure everybody else did.
That's hilarious, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
That sucks. I mean,
do you believe him, or do you think I was a lie and he got something else happen? Because that's what JB suggested. He thinks it's a straight lie.
Did his girlfriend beat his ass or something? Did his wife beat the shit out of him? I don't know.
Really weird.
If the guy says he got beat up by his cow, then I guess he got beat up by a fucking cow. I don't know, dog. I can't sit here and question what the man's doing with livestock.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State's a weird place. You know what I'm saying? Livestock and chickens and goats.
Oklahoma State has a shot to win that game, though?
I do. I really do. I think that they'll come out and play hard, and last thing they want to do is go 0-4 when they were picked to win the fucking conference. So, I mean, I just to think that the group isn't going to play hard and BYU is super mature. BYU's not going undefeated. Iowa State's not going undefeated. Everyone's going to fucking lose. You're probably going to have 5 teams with 1 loss in the Big 12 that don't play each other, and they're going to have to just pick 2 to go play in the fucking Big 12 title game.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. It's cannibalizing itself, as Joel Klatt said months ago on this show. Last thing I wanted to ask you, there's some college football tonight. Boston College, I just want to ask you about this ACC matchup. Boston College heads to Virginia Tech to take on Kyron Drones. And Tech, what are your thoughts on that game? Virginia Tech is 7.5-point favorites.
I'll take BC. I love what Bill O'Brien's doing at BC. They're tough as fuck. And I've seen them go into Florida State, and they beat Michigan State. That's a pretty good football team. Not saying Virginia Tech's not, but I'll take BC on the road.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't know. It's going to be tough for them to win, but 7.5 points, I'd like to think they can cover that, especially, I mean, I like their quarterback, Castellanos. That's going to be a good quarterback matchup, him and Drone. So that's going to be a good matchup. But Big Matt, great show on this fine Thursday. 770 people in here. For those watching, hit the like button, subscribe, become a member of the
What time are we doing tomorrow?
Here at 0 to 60. You said what?
What time are we doing tomorrow? Because I got to be on the road at 10 a.m.
Well, I'll talk to you offline. We'll figure it out. But, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. And then Saturday, we are doing a live watch party of the Colorado-Arizona game. So tune in. The game kicks off at 2 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be on right as it starts. Come tune in, hang out. We're going to be here for the whole game. It's going to be great. Lots to talk about, get live reactions and stuff. Who knows what's going to happen. It's always a great time at these watch parties. We always appreciate everyone that tunes in. It's always a good time. So be tuned for that on Saturday. But, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow and previewing this game and much more. I can't wait, giving you Colorado's keys to victory tomorrow and much more. But we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all for tuning in, and peace.